Hello, Laura. Happy Friday.
We made it.
Yeah, through the week or through this cold nippy weather, or
I think most folks are just about to hit log off on the computer, right? This is the last thing they're doing.
Yeah, periscoping before they end their workday here.
Like, we got to know what is happening as we go into the weekend. Quite frankly, the biggest weather story is going to be the cooler temps coming into the northeastern United States. So if you live in Pittsburgh.
Wow, someone just said
State
live in
College.
Pittsburgh right when you said that.
I was thinking about you. That's what it was. Syracuse, Albany, parts of the interior northeast, New England. You're going to feel that fall, maybe winter chill moving in this weekend. Now, for locations that I just mentioned, this is more or less the right time of the year that we should see this. Sometimes it's a little earlier, sometimes a little later, but this isn't, it's not like we're talking about this being mid-September versus mid-October. So more or less we're on track for this. Relatively progressive pattern. So we've been talking about cold front after cold front, and you can see another one. This is the setup for Saturday. So behind the cold front, high pressure, and we have a clockwise flow, so we've got the wind coming out of the north and northwest. So definitely cooler, drier for the source region. So temperatures maybe 10 to 15 degrees below normal. And for many of these locations, especially towards, say, the big cities of the Northeast, we've been talking about temps about 10 degrees above normal. So all of a sudden it starts to feel like a much bigger change. And then the real feels during the day on Saturday could be in the 30s to even the 40s, just because we're going to have that breeze kick up as well. Where you see some of the cloud cover, the white on our map here, scattered rain showers, and early and then again late, so around before sunrise and then around after sunset, we could even see some snow mixing in.
Okay, yeah, that's what people are probably wondering about, that snow.
Yeah, so
what's that white stuff falling there?
So let's talk about that snow. Take a look at this graphic here. Widespread frost and freeze, but I want you to look at some of these darker blue colors we've put on the map here. So western Maine, the higher elevations of Vermont, New Hampshire, ski country in parts of western New York, northwest into parts of Pennsylvania, say the Allegheny Forest. We could be looking at scattered snow showers there, mixing in with some of the rain showers from time to time. Now, if this happens during the day, temperatures are warm enough that really not a lot is going to happen, except people who love skiing are going to go, yes, we're almost there.
Right.
And people who don't own a shovel are going to say, no, this isn't happening.
Someone said in Dominican Republic, they said, it's hot here, bring it down here.
Yeah, well. Right, we always want what we can't have.
Yeah, that's right.
So as far as any wet snow, anything we're worried about accumulating, this is a map we've prepared for you. So look into parts of western Maine, again, the higher elevations, upstate New York, you get into the Green Mountains, you get into the Adirondacks. It's not impossible. There could be, again, maybe a few inches on those non-paved surfaces, and this will be one of those heavy wet snows.
Someone asked if you think this winter will be worse than last year.
Well, we're still really early in the season, and keep in mind too, last year we had those series of storms that pushed through New England.
Right.
Places like New York, Providence, Hartford, Boston really just got hammered week after week after week, and we were talking about snow piles lasting into April and May. So hopefully nothing quite like that on the way. The other thing I wanted to briefly touch on, and this will impact a lot of different areas, is the frost freeze potential for this weekend. For the Northeast and parts of the Great Lakes, we have it coming up for 2 nights. The first night is Saturday night, so not tonight, but going into tomorrow. Anywhere in the darker pink, we're looking at those freeze conditions possible, frost conditions in the lighter pink. And it's not just one day. So this is Saturday night. We're going to bring up a different graphic for you on the next screen, and you'll be able to see what it looks like for Sunday night. So Albany, Syracuse, Rochester's kind of right on the line, Buffalo, perhaps a little bit of a frost there, Pittsburgh into parts of central Pennsylvania, even down into West Virginia. Now again, in parts of the Northeast, this is pretty much on time. Give or take, we're talking the span of a week or two.
Right.
But you get down here into parts of Virginia and North Carolina, and this could be a killing freeze here Sunday night into early Monday. So in this area, this would be early. So if you have some tender vegetation out, maybe you're still growing something in the garden, in the backyard.
Yes, we are live. Play this function. He said, are you live? Yeah, we're live right now. Laura here on Friday afternoon.
4:46 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time. So those are the locations that are going to be looking at the chance for that killing freeze a little bit ahead of time again. So parts of Virginia and North Carolina, if you want to save something that's still growing, you got to get it through a night or two. And then we're actually going to look at temperatures moderating as we go into next week. So this is just a little taste. No huge storm systems coming, but definitely a shot of some cooler air that we've yet to see yet this season.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has
someone
questions.
said if you have something in the garden, better be a pumpkin. I think because probably, I guess, the frost freeze potential there for gardeners. Got to keep an eye on that. So
I need to get my pumpkins still. Pumpkins.
Yes, me too. I think I'm getting mine Sunday.
In the squash and like the corn mazes. I mean, this weekend is really going to make it feel like we're into that fall season. So, so sometimes, folks they're back and forth, right? Winter can be a really polarizing subject, whether you like the snow or you hate the snow or you're kind of in between about being cold. This is just the first little taste of it. I'll mention too here, big cities of the Northeast, so I-95 out to the east, largely will avoid this. You're just close enough to the coast, the water's still warm enough that I'm not terribly concerned at this point about New York City or about Philadelphia.
What someone just asked, New York City. Okay.
So right in there. Now the colder spots, once you start to get even just to the northwest of the city itself, if you're one of those traditionally low spots, a spot that typically sees the frost early, you could get some patchy frost. And then you're not going to have to go too far inland to see the significantly cooler temperatures. But right at I-95 and points east, you're probably okay through this one. It's a close call, but you're probably going to be mostly okay.
Someone asked about there was historic frost in DC area, I guess, October 20th, and they were wondering if that would maybe hit that.
Historic frost in the DC area. So again, DC is probably going to avoid the worst of this as we go into this weekend.
Okay.
But you're not going to have to go too much farther to the west into parts of northern Virginia, and you could see a pretty good hard freeze here, especially
Show
going
the graphic here one more time.
Into Sunday night. So again, you look at locations here through the Tidewater, the Delmarva, most areas avoiding it to New York City, but you get back not far west, so into parts of far eastern West Virginia, parts of northern Virginia, you could be looking at a pretty solid freeze here coming into Sunday night, and more so noticing this Monday morning when you're stepping outside, getting those kids to the bus stop, and it's in the 20s.
Little chilly.
I'm not over exaggerating. Like 20s.
Someone said, "What? No."
There, I said it.
Yeah.
We've been saying the S word a few times too, but again, this isn't a huge storm. This is the first taste.
Little taste of it.
You gotta embrace it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on Periscope here, Laura. Join us again on Monday for Periscope. You viewers here, you can follow us on @AccuWeather as well as @BreakingWeather. And your Twitter handle, Laura?
@Laura Velasquez. I'd love to hear from you. And everybody have a good weekend.
All right. Thanks so much.